Oxfordshire has an abundance of country houses, complete with beautifully manicured gardens. And synonymous with such perfect lawns must be the summer sport of croquet. And it was in the grounds of this 17th century Jacobean mansion, Chastleton House, that the rules of lawn croquet were first codified back in 1865. Now, I must admit that I've never really played the game before, so I've come to the mansion grounds for a lesson with Norma Rain, chairman of the Thames Valley Croquet team.
Well, first things first, Norma, you didn't tell me how to dress in white.
No, that's a shame, isn't it? But it is only during the summer. Otherwise, you can be muffed for winter play. We play all the year round at the Thames Valley Croquet Club. Now, a mallet is the sort of thing you need for action.
Right.
Square or round one, depending on which you like. I prefer the round, so I'm going to give you the square.
Great, thanks.
And if you're
yes, boss.
Are you right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Right, you grab it with your left.
Right.
That's absolutely right. Now you put your right hand down the back of the actual mallet, and you put the mallet between your legs on the ground.
Right.
And you have a ball at the end of your mallet on the ground.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Yep.
And it's a swinging pendulum action.
Right.
So you take the mallet back between your legs, and you kiss the ground and follow through.
The game of croquet is thought to have come to England from Ireland in the 1830s and became very popular during the mid to late 19th century as a pastime that could be enjoyed by both men and women side by side. But the sport was eclipsed just a decade later by the more action-based lawn tennis. In Britain, association and golf are the two main variations of croquet played. Golf croquet has much simpler rules and a faster pace. The opposing sides can be one or two players making single or doubles teams, hitting balls consecutively through the hoops.
Now, I imagine this to be a lot heavier.
No, it's a pound in weight, and they're all pound in weight.
What's it made out of?
Composite.
Oh, right.
It's changed over the time, and there used to be wooden ones.
Right. And some of your colleagues are playing with black, red...
Yes,
blue.
they're primary colours, and you play as a partnership. Black and blue go together, and red and yellow go together.
I got you.
The opposing sides each have two balls, and the course consists of 6 hoops with a winning peg. Players contest each hoop in turn, and the winner is the first side to win the most hoops, with a deciding hoop played if the scores are equal.
So what I've got to do is stop it in front, just in front of that hoop.
That's all.
That's all.
Absolutely. It's quite hard. Brilliant. That sounds fantastic. Look at that. A beginner? Wow.
Whoa, look at that.
That's one hoop down with possibly another 12 to go, and I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this challenge.
Not bad.
Croquet involves a combination of mental and physical skills, and every stroke presents a tactical challenge.
That's it.
Oh, so close.
That was very close.
If that had gone
indeed.
through, I'd have retired.
Yeah, I would have allowed you to.
Oh, really?
It's suitable for all ages, making it a very inclusive sport that's a pleasure to play, even on a wet summer's day.
Fantastic.
3 very different properties, all with positive points, mind you. The question is, will Tim and Maggie go for one of them? It's time to find out. Oh, guys, you found a fantastic spot.
Yep.
I know.
Lovely location, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Sorry, I can't offer you any of these houses. Let's talk about the ones that we have seen. We'll start with the quirkiest of houses ever, eh?
Yeah,
first one,
you
yeah.
can say that again. I loved the sort of creative feel and the fact that every time you opened a door, you didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah.
There was lots of light. There were lots of positive
The
things
garden was
about
good,
it.
wasn't it,
The
as well?
garden was good. It was in a very sweet village.
It was also massive.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
huge, and you know, it had this quite incredible roof terrace overlooking the garden. But in actual fact, we thought ultimately the size was maybe a negative thing because it was just too big.
I think it's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
And it needed quite a bit of work, and it
Yeah.
was right on the top of our budget, so
Well, let's move on to the property that looked old, but actually was only 4.5 years old.
it's completely fooled us both.
Yeah, it was done beautifully, and I think the architect owner has had obviously put a lot of his sort of heart and soul into it.
Maggie, did you like the kitchen in the second property?
Yeah, it was all right.
It'll do. You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I loved it as well.
Yeah, that kitchen was a dream kitchen. It was just faultless, really. and the fact, everything was new and well finished and of really high quality.
Was it big enough for you?
See, I think maybe not quite.
Yeah, we sort of differ on this one, because I think you can have a house that's too big, and I think that one was just the right size.
It filled a lot of the criteria that we need, really. I think I was just a bit put off by the fact that it was modern, even though I didn't realise it was modern. I think maybe the small windows and the lower ceilings, which kind of had to be like that, didn't they?
It was very in keeping with the surrounding area.
Well, that's why exactly he's done it, I think.
It was so well done. But yeah, I think ultimately we did differ on it. I liked it more than you liked it. I think it was as simple as that. And
I like the third house more.
Okay, well, let's move on to the third house then. The third house, it's fair to say, didn't have your dream kitchen.
It didn't have the dream kitchen. In fact, I didn't like the kitchen when I first saw it at all. But the house grew on me the more I walked around it.
And the price was just blew me away. I couldn't believe it.
Was it the price that did it for you? Because, you're saying that there's not much to do, but, the way you were talking, you were going to move the kitchen from one part of the house to another and also knock down a wall to make the reception double the size. That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. Because when we were looking around, I was thinking it would be at the upper end of our budget. I thought, this is impossible. But when we found out the price, I thought, actually, this is more achievable. I think the thing we learnt with the third property was that if you're willing to do just that 10, 15, 20 minutes extra, over an hour, then you get so much more for your money, in terms of you get more property for your money.
We didn't realise how much of a difference it would make to the price.
Dare I ask, are you going to go and see any of the three properties again?
No, I wouldn't mind seeing the third one again, because that's, in my mind, the only real possibility.
Yeah, the third one just feels the most viable, actually.
Okay.
And it felt, ultimately, when we look back on all three, it felt like the most sort of family home kind of property.
But what if you go back to the second property and there's no wind at all and you don't hear any traffic? You'd be kicking yourself, wouldn't you?
I would be intrigued to go back to the second property too.
Yeah, maybe
I wouldn't mind seeing that one again.
Yeah,
well, listen, I hope that you two are going to be extremely happy here, and more importantly, I think that Evie, when she gets here, is going to be happy as well.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic meeting you. You've been so positive and fun to be with. So, cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alid.
Pleasure.
Great.
Cheers. And as they gather in the harvest here, isn't it good to know that we may have found Maggie and Tim a new home? But even if they don't go for one of our options, at least we've opened their eyes to the possibility of what's achievable if they look further afield than that magic 1 hour from London. If they do that, who knows, they could be escaping to the country before we know it. Till next time, goodbye.
And if you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.
A new life on the island of inspiration, Wanted Down Under in Tasmania on BBC Two now. And tonight, MasterChef is ferocious. 20 will become 12 here on BBC One at 9 o'clock. Next, a quick news roundup ahead of CBBC.